Hey, Rustin.
Morning or good afternoon, I should say.
Good afternoon. Two
Yeah,
after 2 o'clock for us.
yeah, that's right. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm taking it a day at a time still, but this week has generally been better for me. Made some good contacts on LinkedIn, had some good conversations with people, but still seeing the overall trend of lots of hiring freezes or teams not expanding, at least in the world of sales enablement. What about you?
Uh, so for me, it's been good. I've been staying in contact with my network a lot, just helping in Slack channels, helping on LinkedIn, helping just wherever I can. This time around for me was kind of concentrating on a little bit less myself and more everybody else because there's so many people that are impacted. And in turn, I think that's just it. Like my network has kind of assisted me and helped me out in the process. So great news for me this week, but in the same time, I'm helping others.
Yeah. Well, you are so wonderful at that, and you've been great helping me with things too along the way. So, if anyone hasn't reached out to Rustin or myself yet for anything that we can help you with, job search wise, resume writing, or just reading through LinkedIn, whatever you guys need, we are definitely here for you. Feel free to message either one of us. But let's jump in today to what we are going to talk about. This video should be pretty short compared to our other ones, but obviously Rustin and I, we love to talk, and we hope we're helping some people out there. That's what it sounds like so far. So hopefully you all will find this video helpful as well. Today we just wanted to talk about 3 things that you can do right now to improve your marketing efforts on LinkedIn specifically. So things that you can do on LinkedIn to be seen by more recruiters, to increase your brand awareness in terms of, how you put yourself out there and how you're perceived by your network, how to potentially get your next job offer. So let's just dive right in. Rustin, what is your first tip that you want to talk about for LinkedIn?
So for LinkedIn, there's 2 routes you could go. If you're in a sales position, you use LinkedIn to reach out to other contacts, right? In terms of selling that a product. We're talking about you and who you are as a business professional. So utilizing your profile as an extension of your resume. Recruiters don't like to see really, more than 1 page on a resume. We know that. And so it's hard to cram all these wonderful things about you, accomplishments, what other people say, all the certifications you have into one resume. So, but LinkedIn is that platform. We'll talk about in a minute how you can create links that you can attach to your resume. And so just think of LinkedIn as second, page 2. And so what you want to do is create that persona of yourself. Who are you in terms of what is that visual you want people to see? And I'll let you talk about kind of some of the steps on what does that look like. But really, that's just it. Like, utilize this time to not be basic. Now more than ever, people sign up for LinkedIn. They follow the quick instructions. They skip half the steps that it says fill out this information because it looks like it's going to take a lot of time. And they just click through it just to create their name, put it on LinkedIn. There's no profile picture. Nothing is in the summaries. It's just a blank page. But that's who you're marketing right now, is a blank page, and that's what people see.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for me, like as a person who is trying to connect with people right now, employers I'm interested in, companies, maybe even influencers on LinkedIn. If I go to someone's profile and they're missing certain aspects, like maybe their headline doesn't really tell me what they do, or their description about what they've done or currently do isn't very clear, or to your point, it might be even blank, I'm left being like, okay, well, this person isn't really piquing my interest, or they don't take networking on LinkedIn as seriously. And so for me, that's definitely something that deters me from networking with those people, because I do think, like you said, LinkedIn and your profile specifically is 100% an extension of your resume, your personal brand, how you market yourself as a potential employee to others. And I think Thumbtack peeps, you guys will get this a lot, but just like we talk to pros, all the time, like the importance of a complete profile on Thumbtack on the marketplace to get chosen for jobs. That's 100% what we need to do on LinkedIn as well. You should fill in as much information as you can on your LinkedIn profile, and just think about it as the best way for you to attract others to your network or your brand. Your headline, your profile photo, your description about yourself. And just think about, it doesn't have to be sterile or anything. You can definitely show your personality a little bit, but just make sure that you keep it professional.
Agreed.
And I think one other thing to talk about for a LinkedIn tip in terms of just profile completeness, a couple of basics. I love your headline right now, Rustin, on LinkedIn. What does it say? Something about like a relationship builder?
Cultivator of employee, empowered employee. I can't even think. You caught me on the spot. Cultivator of empowered people leadership. That's it.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. It took me a second. Sorry.
That's okay.
Well, because I'm all about servant leader. I'm all about empowering employees to be their best, right? And so that is my title. Is I could get up there and say sales manager or say sales leader, right? But that's not who I am as a person.
Mhm.
I'm the cultivator. That's what I go out and do to these employees, and I create empowered employees, and then it is in a leadership way. So that kind of for me summed up who I am as a cultivator of empowered employees.
Yes.
And then I'm the leader that does that.
Totally. So sorry to put you on the spot, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
He has a great headline example, and you can check out mine on LinkedIn as well. So when you sign up for LinkedIn, it's always going to default to what your current job title is. So it might say sales manager. It might say sales enablement specialist. But you want to change that because you are so much more than the job you're currently doing. It doesn't effectively describe what you can offer someone or offer a company or a role. So in your headline, you should think about what you solve for and who you serve. And also know that titles are very company specific. Like some companies have really wackadoo titles that are only specific and are not like an industry standard. And if a recruiter is going into LinkedIn looking for a sales manager, although if they type that in, they'll get millions of hits. But like you want to think about the keywords that really tell again the story in 120 characters or less, because that's how many you get, exactly what you do. What you do and who you serve. Yep. I think that's a great tip for headline.
Yeah. And mainly don't be fake. Be your authentic self. I think that is key. Who you are as a person, now's the time to really take some thought and think about that, and then portray that in everything in your profile and what you say on LinkedIn. Be your authentic self. That's huge.
Yep, 100%. And that goes into our next part of this in terms of completing your profile. In the description, that's really your opportunity that you don't necessarily get sometimes when applying for a job on a careers page or a website, to give a little bit of flavor about yourself. It doesn't have to be so, again, sterile. It can be a little bit of your personality while also still professional, but you want to talk about yourself from the first person as well. Another thing that we see on LinkedIn that you don't want to fall into the trap of is talking about yourself in the third person. So for me, it might be something like, Natalie Bagley is a sales enablement practitioner who has done X, Y. No, like this is my profile. I own this. I'm the one who's updating it. So it should be I, me, my, mine. So make sure that when you're writing your description, you definitely have it in the first person.
Yep.
One last thing under this part in terms of profile completeness is personalizing your LinkedIn URL. Rustin, what do you know about doing that?
Yeah, it's simple. You just go to I can see it right now. It's top right hand corner. It says edit your profile /URL, and then you go there. And because a lot of times people will sign up, again, they use something catchy, but that catchy may be discouraging hiring recruiters or hiring managers from moving further. It's something you can also tag to your resume. So you change it to a short title that's personalized. Again, it's how are you branding yourself, because then you place that URL onto your resume.
Yep.
When people are reviewing your resume, both you and I are utilizing Premium right now. We're taking advantage of, it's free services that's available. So I would encourage everyone to do the same. But anytime someone looks at your resume and they click on that URL, it now shows that individual viewed your resume. And I see that all the time. I see a ton of hits that are happening because on my resume, I'm putting that URL. Mm-hmm. Don't make it too long, make it short and simple, but make sure that you are providing that on your resume. That's huge.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing LinkedIn will do when you sign up for the first time is it'll automatically default to usually your first and last name. and then a bunch of numbers or letters. So it could be Natalie Bagley, ABCD12345Z. And again, to Rustin's point, like you should be handing out this handle, your personal URL to your LinkedIn profile to employers, putting it on your resumes, putting it on your cover letters, putting it in emails to recruiters. And if you have like, 400 characters in your URL, that's going to be hard for LinkedIn recruiters to remember or for you to remember. So again, you have the autonomy as a LinkedIn member to change that. So make sure you change it to maybe just your first and last name and like one letter or one initial, something like that.
Yep.
All right. So
and to be honest, just not sorry to interrupt, to
Yeah.
be honest, in filling out applications these days, like it's actually ask for that. It will say, what is your LinkedIn URL, along with any other sites that you have.
Yes.
Which kind of leads us into number 2, I believe.
Yes. Yeah. So number 2 tip for us out of these 3 tips we're giving for LinkedIn is that we're seeing this a lot now, because I think there's definitely a ton more activity with so many folks unemployed like Rustin and I on LinkedIn. But we just want to put out a PSA out there that LinkedIn is not Facebook. It's not TikTok. It's not Instagram. This is a professional networking platform. And you should try and keep it as professional as possible, as much as Rustin and I love seeing pictures of like your dog and stuff. And maybe just save that for Facebook. Rustin, anything else you want to add here?
Yeah, just remember, you're putting this link onto your resume. Hiring recruiter, if that's your first line that's seeing this, wants to see who you are as a business professional. They don't want to see who you are outside of work, unless they're asking for that, but then put that in a separate line. Keep business and personal life separate.
Yep, absolutely. And keep in mind too that any posts or videos that you like or comment on, anyone within your network, actually up to your second connection network, can see those likes or can see those comments. So again, just remember to keep it, as professional as possible while creating a great image for yourself and being authentic.
And it's not saying you can't talk in a way with humor and you can't be yourself. Again, be authentic. That's the key. Be authentic in everything you do. Just, I think there's a big difference between, again, what you post on social media. And you'll see people saying, can we please keep LinkedIn professional? Like sometimes you'll see it starting to get out of hand at certain months. I'm on there quite a lot. And even when I am employed, I'm still on there. And you'll see people saying, please keep this professional, because it is a professional tool.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that leads us into our third and final tip for LinkedIn, and that is simply just be active on the platform. Be active in your feed. So take a few minutes every day and go through and find posts that interest you. You can comment on them, you can like on them, and that helps you show in the algorithm. The more active you are, it moves you to the top of their search results for many different search engines within LinkedIn. So just find stuff that's interesting to you. Join networking groups that are a part of maybe your profession. Like, for example, I'm a member of the SES Society, or Sales Enablement Society. And so I see a lot of posts from their members. You can also follow specific influencers on LinkedIn, like, Bill Gates or Brene Brown or Richard Branson. What else would you add to this one in terms of being active on LinkedIn, Rustin?
Yeah, and right now more than ever, this is when people want to join network groups, right? So there's going to be groups that was formed because of COVID. There's going, and they're saying, I'm looking for remote opportunities. And so there'll be those groups, and you want to be associated with those groups. And also, where do you want to be? If you want to be in marketing, associate yourself with marketing groups, right? Networking groups. Start joining a bunch of them and see what's going on in the world of marketing. Is any individual, as a business professional, you should always kind of be the master of you and the master of your profession. Always learn. And so this is one way that you can stay on top, because you'll get feeds, like every day you'll get feeds in the marketing profession, if that's where you're in. And so when you go to take those 5 to 10 minutes to browse through LinkedIn, you'll be able to see, hey, here's all the updates today in my profession. And so that's, a little bit more, it's taking a step further. But as you comment on those and you're being your authentic self, then that's basically going to, this resonates with me, but it also showcases your point of view. And so you'll start building a following based off of that. And if you're posting your own content, then the people you've been liking along the way will see you posting things, and in turn, they should start liking your content as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, awesome. So that comes to the end of what we had to share today about LinkedIn. So just remember that number one, your LinkedIn profile is an extension of your resume. Make sure it's complete, make sure it's professional, authentic, and really helps market yourself to anybody out there, which again, LinkedIn is a public link to the whole world. So anyone can technically look you up on LinkedIn. Make sure that you remember that LinkedIn is not a social platform like Facebook or Instagram, but it is a professional networking platform. So keep it professional and keep it appropriate. And then third and final, just make sure to be active on your feed. Take a few minutes every day and go in and see what your connections are doing. Pop in and make comments to things that resonate to you, because as Rustin and I have talked about before in previous videos, this is something you want to do all the time. This is just cultivating relationships on on LinkedIn, keeping your network warm, because you never know when you're going to find yourself, especially right now, potentially out of work, and when you will need to rely on your network. Any final things you want to add, Rustin, here before we end?
I think that's well said. You said everything that I would have said. So thank you.
Okay, perfect. Well, we will catch you guys in our next video.